Hi there, this is Connor, and welcome back to the How to Learn section, which is section 2. And in this lecture, the second lecture, we're going to follow on, and now we're going to learn about organizing information. So in the last lecture of this section, the What to Learn section, we discussed how there are actually very few questions that can be asked of you in your Leaving Cert exams before they start to become repetitive. Now, with this knowledge, if we can learn the answers to the questions that are most likely to come up, then the chances that you will gain a high grade in your exams increase dramatically. Also, when you combine this with the accelerated learning techniques from the How to Learn section, you're going to be able to assimilate information way faster and also much more efficient than before. In this lecture, we're going to talk about why this system I'm about to teach you is so powerful. And now there are two important factors that are in action in this system, and they are number one, organization, and number two, the question answer reflex. And in this lecture we're going to specifically focus on organization. Now, we have already learned that organization is critical for the memorization process. But not only that, it's also critical that what you learn is organized in a way that is friendly to your brain, and that so it will be easy to access in the future, i.e. during an exam situation. Here is an example of why organization is so important. So what I want you to do is to try and memorize the following group of 16 cards. Now, if you like, just pause the video, give yourself a minute, and then try to recite the cards. So if you've done that, you should be back now, and just take note of how many cards you were able to memorize. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the cards in a different way and see if you'll be able to remember them easier. So here we are. This is the cards, but just organized in a different way. And I want you to note that the cards are exactly the same. The only difference is that they are organized in a way that is brain friendly, that makes sense to your brain. So what I want you to do now is, again, if you like, just pause the video and take a minute and run through these, try and memorize them. Look away from the screen and then try and write down as many as you possibly can. So you should be back now, and ask yourself, just look, how much better did you do? Was it easier in the first group of cards or the second group of cards? And just for your own benefit, here are the two groups of cards together. Again, you can see the only difference is organization. The actual cards are the exact same. So the lesson here is that if you can organize information in a way that is brain friendly, then learning can become very easy and very fast. However, if you learn like most people do, by taking notes, reading, studying your textbooks, underlining, highlighting, listening to your teacher, stuff like that, then you are trying to learn in a way that is similar to the first arrangement of cards, i.e. very inefficiently. Learning like this will just lead you to having lots of different facts and information floating around in your brain, in your head, that you will soon forget because they have no meaning or place in your brain. Now remember, from section 1, we learned that the two keys to remembering something are to make it real and to somehow make it connected to our lives. Alright, so the big question then, very important, is how do I organize information in a way that will allow me to learn what I need to learn so that I can get the grade that I need to get in my Leaving Cert exam? Again, how do I organize information in a way that will allow me to learn what I need to learn so that I can get the grade that I need to get in my Leaving Cert exam? That's probably the biggest question that you can possibly ask yourself. And the answer to this is in the next lecture of this series. So if you didn't quite understand the organization part, just go through this again, and if you want the answer to that question, move on to the next lecture.